Woo! All right. So, are you guys ready for a brand new training? I think you're ready for a brand new training. And you know who else thinks you're ready for a brand new training? Tammy. So, let me tell you how this training even came about, just so that this way you have an understanding. And then, of course, I'll introduce myself. So this training came about because I am a part of, or our company, Give It to the People, is a part of a program that is run by the City of Durham and also the National Institute. And the thing about this training is that we were a part of it because they had the Google Digital Coach, which you've seen on our membership before, Anovia Bedford come, and she did the Google version of it. I really liked the presentation. I think it really gave us insight into things that we can change and make better for Give It to the People. But I said, I think that there could be a little bit more spice, a little bit more ease, because a lot of the people that we deal with are a lot more service oriented than just product oriented. So this is how we said, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and do this design thinking for a better business. And that's how this came along. So I'm Chisa Pennix-Brown. I am the chief curator over at Give It to the People. We are a mental wealth company that curates events throughout the state of North Carolina, specifically those that are based on business and professional development. We also teach to help people to just build a business, better business acumen. And that means social media, that means marketing, because that's where our focus is at. Our membership is called the Give It, Get It Business Membership. And that membership is designed to help entrepreneurs and ecosystem partners to be able to find a place online where they can connect, where they can share their events, where they can recommend each other, where they can follow up with each other. And this is one of those things that we felt was something necessary in the community because, to be honest with you, it really wasn't something that was there, and specifically a little bit more for North Carolina, even though you could be anywhere in the world and join. So what we do on a monthly basis is we do at least one event that is centered around learning, education, and focus. And typically it's usually at least two, but this is a major one because this is one of our expert trainings. And I love creating new workshops because it gives you an opportunity to think differently, to remember something that you forgot, to spark some new idea, to make you more creative. And so that's what tonight is about. So I'm going to go ahead and turn our music down because we are going to get into it. And I know you're ready to get into it. So what I'm going to do is just share my screen so you can see everything that's going on. So when we talk about design thinking for a better business, my concept was you're already in business. You already have something that's probably really great. And even if it's not really great, it's probably really good, right? I'm going to assume that those are the things that are here. And, that can change from day to day, depending on how good or great you feel. But no matter what, one thing is, once you've been in business for a long time, sometimes you can get into a rut. Sometimes you can get into a position where you're like, I'm not sure if this is really working. Or a lot of people recently have been telling me specifically, they've been saying, well, I need to make more money. Now, I'm in that same boat where I need to make more money. But what I want you to think about is the fact that there are probably people that are already attached to your brand, that are your customers, that can help then bring other people into the business, or they're your customers, and what they can do is they can buy more, right? And so sometimes it's just, how do we think about our business that allows us to be as productive as we need to be? And so this particular thing, what we are going to do is we're going to use Google Gemini, because that's how the presentation was originally designed. So even though I've changed it, there's a specific way that Gemini does things and breaks things down when you ask it questions, that even though I love ChatGPT, Gemini does a little bit different. And that's why we want you to use that particular, platform. So if you want to now, just go ahead and click over there to Google so you can open up another window and go to type in Gemini. Once we get to our prompts, then you'll be able to just go ahead and type those in, and then you'll be able to do it for your business. Now, what's so awesome about this particular webinar to me is that it is designed for each person's business. So for me, being the curator, I Give It to the People, I'm your lovely facilitator, right? All around dope chick. And if you want to connect, you can go to that link that's down in the bottom where you can connect, and you can, send us messages. You can find out whatever else is going on as well. But even if you look on the screen and you see, okay, well, she's also an author, she's also a podcaster. They have the membership, they have the other side of the business for Give It to the People. we do a lot of things. And how do you connect those things to each other? How do you say, well, you know what, this week I'm going to focus on this thing? And we have so many events that come up on a regular basis that it could be very overwhelming and inundating. So we take into consideration that we have, my favorite C word is capacity. And the AI to me helps me with capacity because I can get my ideas out of my head. And then I get the opportunity to say, okay, well, let's create a marketing plan. Let's try to target a specific person, right? Because oftentimes we know who our customer is. However, one of the things that a lot of us business owners don't do is we don't necessarily take the time to ask people who are already our customers what they really need and what they really think. And so that's why when we created the membership, it was like, no, this is a key part. This is a component. So we do surveys all the time. And even for this class, I gave them 3 options for classes. They picked this class. This was the highest rated class that everybody picked. And so every workshop that we do, I have goals. So I need you to listen. I need you to look and then do the things. All right. So don't jump ahead just because you have Gemini up already. But the next thing is, I want you to have an open mind about the process of looking at your business from the outside in. And you're like, well, why are you saying that? Because there's always somebody who feels like they know what I'm getting ready to say and they know the answer. But I'm promising you, this is going to give you a different way to just think. So when I went through the program specifically with Google, it was like, well, yeah, I know who my customer is. You know, like she asked good questions. All of those great demographic things are great. You know who you've already served. That's cool, right? But there's a part of you that's missing something. And so that's what this workshop is going to help you do, is to think of it from a different perspective, which is why the next thing is our goal is to learn to be a consumer of your product. Okay. And your service, product or service, or and both, right? And I want you to disconnect so that you can get the best results. Because a lot of times you're just so used to doing your business, you're not necessarily thinking of it as a consumer. Now, I'm just going to give you an example of that. When people say, recently with one of the events that we did, oh my God, you thought of everything from the exhibitor. You did this, you did a video, you gave us reminders, you answered emails quickly. All of those things are wonderful, right? And why do I do that? Because I've learned from the other side of people not doing things in a timely manner. I've learned that, okay, yeah, I mean, I may not have been to this venue and I'm walking around crazy trying to find where stuff is. But if I make a video and I show you what to expect, okay, now you feel more comfortable coming. And the thing about, events is that with a lot of our things, some people may be coming from out of town and they've never been to a venue. Okay. So giving people a consumer's view is because I've been a consumer. Doing the things that I do, even with vending events, is because we started out as vendors. So knowing what I've been through, I'm not going to make you go through all of the craziness because that doesn't make sense. How can we make it easier for you? And then the last goal is to get ready to learn. And I want you to have something to work with at the end of this presentation, which means you have to do the work while you're here at this presentation. This is not just, oh, Chisa's going to do it for me. So I'm going to give you the prompts, but you're going to actually put them inside of Gemini while you're here so that by the end, you do have something to work with. Now, it's up to you what you choose to do with it afterwards, but you will have immediate results while you're inside the workshop. All right. Now, the question is, well, what is design thinking? And it sounds crazy to say we're using the AI. We are using the AI. We're using the AI, but we're making it human-centered. And so that in itself doesn't sound like I'm telling you the truth. But if you really start to say, me as a human, what do I need? What do I want? Can you help me solve this complex problem? And so then it is basing it off of what other humans have told it. Okay. Now, if you never used AI in order to do your design thinking, could you still do this? Yes, you could, but you're not going to come up with a plan as fast as AI. So I don't want you to think like, oh, this is something that you can't do by yourself. You definitely can do it by yourself. You don't have to use the AI, but it is faster. And then it's going to give you answers quickly. And it's also going to surprise you because it's going to give you some things that you didn't even think, oh, shoot, you know what? I figured that, or I wasn't even thinking about that. And that's what it did for me. So if it did that for me, Okay. It can do it for you. So those problems, we want you to think about innovation, being new, being fresh, maybe doing it a different way than you've done it before. Empathy, which used to be a really big problem for me. But I think COVID came in and COVID said, open up your heart, okay? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I've always been, and I still really am, a very black and white person where either it is or it isn't. But what I've realized over the years is that sometimes, did you do it? Did you not do it? But it is a reason that people don't do things or they do stuff, right? It's a reason either way. So a lot of times people are like, oh my God, I have to cancel at the last minute. This thing happened. Okay, I understand that. Well, we can reschedule. And people are like scared to say that something happened, but you don't have to do that. So having that empathy and being understanding is a good thing. But for me, the empathy also comes with knowing, and I'm just going to throw this out there, it's not on the screen, but also knowing that things are not always going to go 100% the way that you want them to. So have a backup plan because somebody's going to mess up. Now, hopefully the somebody's not you. And even if it is you, hopefully you have a backup plan for you. But you can even be empathetic with yourself and how you think about your business. And the last thing is action. Anybody that knows me knows I'm about that action boss. So when it comes to design and thinking, right, I always think like, okay, well, it was great to have this thought bubble. It was great to talk with you about something, but all of that chit chat means nothing if we don't actually put it to work. Okay. Which is why, if you'd like to get your copy of the 90-Day Focus, your action plan for success, you can go. You can go to the 90dayfocus.com or you can go to Amazon and you can get a copy because it helps you to think of that, right? It helps you to think of things in a linear way, in a way that's like, well, what do I need next? Like, what do I need to be the next best version of me? So for me, action is an important factor. Now, I want you to think about this because design thinking in our lives. So I want you to think about two different things, okay? And then I have them spaced out on here. The television. So television has changed drastically since it first started. Do you remember back in the days when you actually had to sit and wait for a show to come on? Okay. And then they did a thing called the VCR. And then what you could do is you could record your show and then you could go back and watch your show. But now design thinking has got us to the point of on-demand TV. So now I can go and say, okay, well, I want to watch this show and I can record it in the app that's on the TV. I can watch it when I want to watch. And I don't know about your TV, but my TV does smart stuff. My TV is also like, hey, girl, you just turned on the channel. Do you want to watch this show from the beginning? Or do you just want to watch it live from where it's at now? First of all, don't even give me all of those choices, but thank you so much because that's design thinking. But it's the technology that allows that to move ahead. It's also people that said, this is a problem and I would like to have more control over it. So if you give me these options, I will be more likely to watch it, right? Now I'm gonna tell you this, it's not on the screen because I always throw in a little chocolate. I love it when you give me a series and I could just binge watch the whole thing. Doesn't mean that I'm going to, but it does mean that I have the option to. I've gotten frustrated and it's okay because on demand makes you so greedy, okay? And I want you to understand what I'm saying. But when I have shows now that, and this is Max, so if you're watching that, they just changed the name to HBO Max. They're doing too much, but don't worry about that. HBO Max now has shows that I like to watch on there. And those shows come on a specific day at a specific time, just like old school. And when I'm saying at a specific time, if they tell you it comes on at 9:00 and you are watching at 9:00, technically it really comes on at like 9:00 and 30 seconds or 9:00 and 60 seconds. And you're sitting there, you're really like, okay, let me watch my show. If you want to watch it when it first comes out. So in a way, it's like, yeah, I want to be greedy and I want to watch it when I want to watch it. Like if you told me it comes out on Sunday, just put it out at 12:01 on Sunday and let me watch it instead of making me literally wait till Sunday night at 9:00 to watch it. But TV also lets you save your favorites now. So if you have that, then this way you can go ahead and say, every time a new episode comes out, I want you to just go ahead and hold it there for me so I can go back and watch it when I want to watch it. And it'll do that for every show. It can also make suggestions on things that you like. So, hey, Chisa, you like this show. Since you like this, you'll probably like this other thing. And I found a lot of things that I've liked because it suggested it to me that I might not have watched otherwise. And then, of course, the streaming networks. Remember back in the day when it was just a couple of channels? Now it's a million things. I never thought I would be the person that would be like, let me pay a whole bunch to watch stuff on multiple channels. It felt like it was ridiculous. But people keep putting out really great content that I want to see. And the only way to watch it is to pay for that network. And I found that it is valuable to me and I'm willing to pay that because I enjoy the shows, right? I never planned on being the type of person who's like, okay, I'm going to pay for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 streaming services, but I like what I like. Okay. And I want you to think about that in relation to design thinking. People will say that they won't do stuff until you give them a reason to do it. And then they like it. And then you got them. And then they're never going anywhere. Right. Like that's the thing. So now let's go to the other side where I have the car up there. So one thing that I love about my car, and this is one of the best features, and I will never, let me just be clear, unless it's a used car, and I'm just hoping that God just blesses me to where I don't ever have to be without automatic start again, okay? When you are out there and the winter is blistering, and I know that my car is going to not only just automatic start, my car can time. So my car is like, oh, you're leaving and you need to leave out at 7. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn that car on at 6:50. I'm going to leave it on for 10 minutes. I'm going to heat up your steering wheel. And I'm going to make sure that the temperature is the temperature that I know that you like. I'm going to defrost the windows because I don't want you to be chilly when you get in here. I don't want you to be a basic and you have to go out there and sit in the car and wait for your windows to de-chill, right? Like that's crazy. I love automatic start, okay? But I also love it in the summertime when it's like, you know what, girl? I know you are hot, I know what you're going through. Let me turn this air conditioning on for you. And I can get in the car and it's breezy, beautiful cover girl. Because I'm sure that some of you probably still get in the car and then you got to sit for like 5-10 minutes to turn that air conditioner on, or you got to ride around with the windows down until the air conditioner really kicks in. But automatic start alleviates that. It's so marvelous, right? But cooled seats. People said they need their butt chilly. Remember back in the day when they started doing the seating thing, they only used to do heated seats. Now your seat can be cooled. My husband's car, okay, Mr. Brown's car, his car is better than mine when it comes to those cool seats. Like the cool seats get you so cool, your internal body temperature has just dropped down and you're like, what just happened? And the cooled seats are so good in his car. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even need the air conditioner on. Like, I don't need it blowing in my face. The cooled seats are cooling my body enough, right? But other things, ride sharing. Remember, that wasn't an option. Remember, you used to ask a person for a ride? Now you can go on an app and you can get a car coming to you. You can decide on what type of car it's going to be. Do you want it by yourself? Do you want it to just be quiet? I mean, all kinds of things, right? And then, of course, I'm adding in satellite radio at the end because I never thought I would be the type of person to pay for radio either. But I have Sirius XM in my car. I love to listen to Shade 45 in the mornings. Okay. That's my channel, but it's other channels that I like to listen to. And I'm not going to get certain music on the regular radio station, So those things make a difference to me as well. But not just is it in the car, I can bring that on my phone and bring it in the house if I needed to. So this is why I want you to understand. Why did I go through all that? Because design thinking is already in our lives. Okay. Somebody had a problem. They told somebody about the problem and somebody said, well, let me go ahead and solve that for you. And I know that it seems like, yeah, that's what you typically say in business is there's a problem and we're solving it. But guess what? It was already TVs and it was already cars. And somebody could have chosen not to solve any of those problems. But once they did, then it gave you a different perspective on maybe there's another problem that needs to happen. Because go back to what I said with the TV. You used to have to stay and be there at the time. Then somebody made a VCR that we record. The next iteration of the VCR was the DVR. And then the next iteration of that is don't even worry about that, sweetheart. You don't even need that box anymore, right? You just can go ahead and use the app. And now our TVs have Roku or Amazon built into them, okay? And then let's not even talk about when you go to the hotels and then you could just log into your account and watch your shows when you want to watch them. Okay. So I'm taking the levels up just to give you perspective because you know how I do. That's why I said we got to listen, we got to look, and then we do the things. So our objectives are to understand the 6 phases of design thinking. All right. Apply that process to your business problem. We're going to use Gemini for ideation and prototyping. And I want you to understand when I'm saying prototyping, I don't mean like like we're making you something like tangible, right? But we are giving you a tangible plan so that you can then go forth and multiply. Okay. And then you're going to leave with a practical, testable business solution. And I'm going to give you a real life one of mine and show you a real life example as well. Okay. So the design thinking we start with, number 1 is understand. 2 is define. 3, we want to sketch it out. 4, we want to decide. 5, to prototype. And 6, to validate. Now, some of these things, I'm going to give you more than one way to do it because it depends on the type of person that you are. If you are like me, you see this pen right here, okay? And then I keep my notebook. I like to write my ideas out. I like to physically have a piece of paper and write them out. But there are other things where I'll just be like, okay, well, you know what? I could just do that on a computer. And for me, I use Canva. So when the Google people are doing a presentation, what they want you to do is, of course, use all of the Google products. It's nothing wrong with that. I am just a heavy Canva user. So I like to keep my ideas instead of Canva. So I'm going to kind of show you some of that. And then you can also do things in real life, physically in your hands if you want to, and it's not necessarily on the computer. So now that you've got that, let's jump in. All right. So number 1 is understanding. Who are your existing clients or users right now? And when this says to research your demographics, I want you to consider possibly going deeper. Not just, hey, it's a man, it's a woman, they have kids, they got a dog, they live in this zip code. I also want you to think about, so that this way it makes more sense, what is their lifestyle and what would actually make things easier for them? So I want you to ask, well, who are they? Okay. So a lot of times people will say, well, come up with this avatar. I still believe in a good avatar. So I have this person out here and I have one that I've made up for our presentation. Her name is Katie. Katie is coming up later on. But what are the pain points that the people have? So there's a thing. So if I am, let's say my name is Sal, and that's short for Sally because I didn't want them to call me Sally. They call me Sal. And I'm a single woman. And let me see. Does she have a kid? Does she have a dog? I'm trying to decide what she has. So Sal has a kid and a dog. Okay. And Sal is like, there are some things I want to find out about, more places that I can take my kid and my dog at the same place. Right. So her pain point is she wants to be able to take them out simultaneously. She doesn't want to have to choose, is this a place for kids? Is this a place for dogs? Right. So like, for instance, I want you to think about this. So let's say there's a bar and they let you bring your dog, because there are plenty of places now that are like, it's a bar and you can bring your dog. And Sal may say, well, that's cool, but I'm trying to get a drink. I can't bring this baby. The baby's not 21. That's not going to solve her problem, right? She wants to bring the dog and she wants to bring the baby. All right. Now, let me see. Her baby is like, because they need to be like small enough. Her baby's like 5. Okay. So they can walk, but she still needs to take care of them. So guess what? She can bring the baby to like a drop-off daycare, but then who's going to take the dog, right? So she has a pain point that she's trying to solve. And while she's there, guess what? Sal wouldn't even mind, like, if she could catch up on a little bit of work, right? Or maybe if she could meet a girlfriend there or something like that. So she has more than one problem, okay? Finding a location, deciding what to do, how long is she going to stay there, how much is she going to spend, because is she going to get food that the baby can eat? Is she bringing dog food? Do they have already like bowls there where they have stuff where they can just, let them run around, right? So those are things for her to think about. Now, let's just do something simple. We got to ask her. So what we do is we do tools and we interview, or we do some surveys, or we do Google Forms. So I'm going to tell you that I'm going to type it into, there is a thing that I've been using called Straw Poll, okay? STRAWPOLL. Now, I've been using Straw Poll because what it does is it allows me to easily be able to kind of like ask one question, even if you want to, and get an answer, like a survey. You get a link to it, and then people can go ahead and fill it out quickly. I always let Straw Poll say, well, tell me who each person is that's doing it so I know who actually filled it out. You can make it anonymous if you want to, but if I'm sending it to a specific email list, I know who's on the email list. I know if it's a man, if it's a woman. I know if they have a job or if they're an entrepreneur, typically. But that's something that you could do. Now, it could just be completely anonymous if you want it to be. You don't have to send it to your email list. You could post it on LinkedIn. You could post it on Facebook and just see whoever's out there that wants to answer, because they probably have a problem. But if you wanted to be even more targeted, what you might do is you might take that same thing and you might put it in a group where moms are, or a group where people that have dogs are. Now, why? Because the dog people probably know more dog stuff, and the mom people know more mom stuff, but maybe you create a group for people with dogs and moms, right? Like, those are things that you could think of. So when you start to think about like, well, what am I going to do? You can always use a Google form, get them to fill it out. You could do a survey. I like to do interviews though. So at our events, I'll ask people, well, how did you find out about it? I'll ask people, what do they think about things? And that's one of the ways that we started formulating our membership. I asked people who I knew intelligent. I asked people who dealt with entrepreneurs. I asked resource partners, and I asked them what was missing. And that was the biggest thing, was to say, oh, you know what? You had a problem I didn't even think about. Or, oh, shoot, you know what? Yes, our thing can solve that. Or, you know what? Whatever you're thinking about is beyond our capabilities. So whatever, understand, okay? So what you're doing is inspiring some new thinking, okay? By finding out what they really need, not just what you think they need. So what I want you to do is select an audience. And I would say, don't just do just one person, like a Sal. So pick an audience that you want to actually focus on, that you think is the type of person that will purchase from you. Of course, if you're already in business, you know the type of people that purchase from you, but there's more of those people that you can duplicate. But write down a list of 5 challenges that they have, okay? I only gave you the one, really, right, for Sal. Hers was, she wants to find a place where she can take her dog and her kid, okay? But then it was other things that were there that she needed too. So like, let's say she needs to be at a place where she can also plug her phone in, because her phone dies all the time, or because she wants to do work and she wants to have her computer there. It could be a bunch of different things, right? But like, let's say if she wanted to go to a dog park, there's no electricity at the dog park, right? So that would kind of work, but not really, okay? So thinking about that, 5 things, 5 challenges that they have, all right? And then what you do is you start to narrow your focus, okay? And you write a clear problem statement, but it's from the user's perspective. Not like, hey, I have a lady who thinks she needs such and such. No, listen, I'm Sal. I got it. And that's what I did. Basically, I'm a mom. I've got a kid. I've got a dog. I want to take them both out. Okay. And the thing is, that's not my perspective at all, because I don't have either one of those things. So I don't have a kid that's 5 years old. I don't have a dog. But if I did, I would have a different problem. Now, could Sal be my customer? Absolutely. Because in my version of this, Sal has a business. Okay. Sal's a mompreneur. But what do I do to help Sal with what we're doing here? So let's just say, hypothetically, if Sal has to have a place to put her kid, then maybe she needs childcare in order for her to come to an event. Or maybe she needs to be able to bring her kid to an event. So does that mean that then we decide to do an event where parents can bring their children, right? I mean, you can look at it sort of this way, but make it from their perspective, okay? So you write down the 5 challenges, all right? And for this part, we're not going to take like forever to do this. You just think about the challenges that your person has, whatever you decide to name them. And then we come up with the problem statement. So with that, define the problem as a problem statement in a human-centered manner. We're thinking about what this human needs, okay? So that person has a username. There's characteristics about them that is inalienable to that person, and they need something because it's going to help them do something. I know that sounds like a lot, but I'm going to break it down on the next slide. So name the person, whatever your person is, okay? You say this person is a or an whatever, okay? Whatever they are, whatever you need to know. So when I use Sal as an example, then, that was her name. And then she was a single mom who had a dog and a kid. And then what does she need? So who needs? Tell me what she needs, right? And because and then you can go ahead and put whatever that insight is into there. So I'm gonna give you a minute or so you can go ahead and you can put that down for yourself. You can take a screenshot if you like, but I'm gonna sip a piece of beverage real quick while you're doing that. Ooh, refreshing. All right. So In this example that we're going to do, I have a new person. Her name's Katie. So I'm going to just show you Katie's as you write that down or take the picture. So Katie is a busy entrepreneur who needs a place to find out about business events and network because she wants to build a brand awareness and stay current with events. Okay. Now, of course, I thought about it from my perspective because what does my business do? That's part of what we do. But guess what? If a lot of our events are training focused events don't leave you a lot of time to network. So guess what we did? We decided to create an event where it's nothing but networking, right? But doing it the way that we do it. Okay, so I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit, but I just wanted to, get you excited. So the thing is, if all we do is we still connect entrepreneurs, especially business ones, at every event we tell you about other events, but you're so busy learning that you didn't really get to network as much as you wanted to. So when we make these adjustments to our events, then we consider that because that's a problem that Katie is saying. Now, she probably has some other problems too. Like she's like looking for where to go, what city, is it the right time based on what she has available? Because I'm just going to give you an example here in Durham, and just the triangle in totality. Everybody seems to want to do events on Thursdays or Thursdays in general. So do you know I don't do events on Thursdays usually? No, I don't, because it's already going to be so many things that are established, things that people are trying. They just love the sound of Thursdays, but people don't work together enough in the way that I think that they should. And I would rather just use that Thursday to go to somebody else's event. It's no need in me hosting it, right? But when we host our things, they're not on Thursdays, right? And they're definitely not at night because that's when everybody else does their stuff. So it could be that there are things out there, but Katie just can't find them yet. And she wants a different type of event because maybe she's been to some other events and that just wasn't her target demographic. You know what I'm saying? Like I could be at a whole nother event right now, but I know that my target's not there. So why go to that event just to be going, right? Like she wants quality in what she's doing. So that problem statement now is something that's not just about Katie, because aren't there other business entrepreneurs that are busy out there? And they also want to find out about business events and they want to network too, right? So she's my avatar that I'm using. So now let's get to the sketch part. This is where you start to brainstorm. Well, what could we do? Well, what's out there? What haven't we done? What could we do better, right? So this is where you can use Gemini to generate all kinds of ideas. So I have on here quantity. Oh, what did I do? Oh, this is wrong. Don't worry about that. I put quantity over. Oh, no, I know why I did that. Normally I say quality over quantity. I know why I reversed it on here. Quantity over quality in this instance, because this is not a normal tenet that I even go by. But in this instance for sketch, because I thought I made a mistake, but I didn't. In this instance for sketch, it's just like get all the ideas out there. They don't have to be great, okay? Anything that you possibly think of, we're throwing it up there. We're trying to see if it's going to make it, if, because you could come up with a whole bunch of things. But once you come up with a bunch of things, then you need to start to say, okay, well, some of that stuff is just not good, or some of it's just not feasible. It's just not doable. You know what I mean? It may be some things that I want to do, and I'm like, I'm not spending the money to do that. It may be like, oh yeah, it would be great if we had such and such as a speaker. And let's say the speaker is $1,000 an hour. No, we're not doing that. Not for something that's free, right? Like, I mean, unless you have a sponsor, but you have to really think about those things. So at this instance, when we're talking about sketch, well, you have the problem and then you go ahead and you start to get ideas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my Gemini really quickly, just to show you, and I will show the screen. Just give me a second, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing really quickly. Okay. And then I am going to go get my problem statement. Okay. Because I want to show you in real life, because we have a problem statement. All right. So let's get back over here and we're going to share again. All right. Let's share our screen. And then we're going to go over here to Gemini. So, I think that's the wrong version. There we go. All right. So we're over here at Gemini. Okay. Now I'm already logged in. You see it says give it, because it's our give it to the people account. So I'm going to put in the question. And Katie is a busy entrepreneur, okay, who needs a place to find out about business events and network because she wants to build brand awareness and stay current with events. And then I can say, give me, okay, what is going on here? Give me, okay, something is going on with my caps locks. Give me a set of, oh no, just give me ideas on things that she can do to solve her problem. Okay. Now I'm just asking it to tell me what she can do. Okay. And this is the thing. I'm not even telling it what I do, not even saying anything about my business. I just wanted to tell me, okay, well, what does it think that Katie can do? Because now we're not looking at just what we do. All right. So it says dive into local business organizations. Now, this is nosy because it knows where we're at. Okay. So this is why it's giving us specific information. The Greater Durham Chamber of Commerce is saying the Chapel Hill Carborough Chamber, industry specific associations, explore online platforms and communities. So it has Meetup, LinkedIn, Eventbrite, local Facebook groups, tap into the university scene, Duke University and Chapel Hill. Now, mind you, I didn't say what Katie is, what she looks like. I didn't tell them gender or anything, right? Now, I find it interesting that it did not involve any of the HBCUs. It said Duke University and Chapel Hill. Interesting. Okay. So I'm just going through this. Sometimes AI has a bias also. Keep an eye on local media and blogs, local publications, right? Attend industry conferences and workshops. And then it said as a suggestion point, as a starting point, it recommends checking out the Greater Durham Chamber of Commerce website first. They are a central hub for the local business community and likely have a comprehensive event calendar. Then explore Meetup and LinkedIn for more targeted groups and events related to your specific industry. Remember, Katie, consistency is key. Make it a regular habit to check these resources so you don't miss out on valuable opportunities to build brand awareness and connect with others in the business world. So now, how do I internalize that? Okay. I internalize that as, well, maybe we need to do some more work because we have a membership. It didn't mention us, but guess what? I know that there's some other chambers of commerce out there that it didn't mention either. Okay. And it's not anything that's bad. We just started in January, right? But then if I target it and I give it more information about me, so now this is what I'm going to ask it. And this is whatever your question is, you can say, how can my company, and then I'm going to type in, give it to the people, be a solution for Katie. And then I also want you to put in your website so that this way it knows where to go to kind of crawl for information that is specific to you. So what this is going to do is specific to me. So it told Katie what her problem was. Okay. Oh, look at this. Now, mind you, I want you to know I did not do this beforehand because I wanted to see what it's going to do in real life. It says, give it to the people. Looking at your website, it seems like you offer a platform focused on community engagement, social impact, and potentially facilitating connections between people and organizations. Oh, it says, given Katie's need to find business events and network for brand awareness and staying current, here's how Give It to the People could be a solution for her. Hosting and promoting a business events. And it says my platform could allow organizations like local chambers of commerce, industry associations, or even individual businesses to host and promote their business events directly on your site, which is exactly what our membership does. Now, mind you, I only give it to the people as a resource. I didn't give it, get it.biz. Facilitating networking resources. So it said that I could help to build features that encourage interaction and networking among the users, particularly those in the business community, which could include dedicated business or entrepreneurship groups, event-specific forums or discussion boards, direct messaging features. So let's stop there. So one of the things that we do is, of course, we have the membership group. So that covers number one, event-specific forums or discussion boards. So when we do our Be in the Ecosystem monthly meeting, we definitely do that to allow people to talk. And then, of course, with our trainings as well. And then direct messaging features enable users to reach out to each other for networking, which also happens on our Give It, Get It business application. And we also have now instituted WhatsApp so people could connect a little bit more directly. So do you see what I'm saying? It gave me suggestions, but it didn't tell me I had to do a specific thing. So then it said highlighting local business initiatives and news, building brand awareness for our company. And it says by becoming a go-to platform for local events and networking, give it to the people could naturally attract entrepreneurs like Katie, increasing our own brand awareness. Now, let me tell you what's not up here. Not just that, but we use Eventbrite. So we embed our events from Eventbrite inside of our website. And we use Eventbrite because we know that it is going to broadcast to way more people than we ever could. And then this way they can come back to the site too. It says offering targeted notifications, partnering with local business organizations, which we do all the time. And then it says, in short, give it to the people could position itself as the digital community hub for Durham's and potentially the wider Triangle's business ecosystem by focusing on local connection and event discovery. You could become the go-to platform for entrepreneurs like Katie who are looking to network and build their brand and stay informed. Now, let's just use that as an example. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing it and I'm going to go back to our presentation. So give it to the people is not designed to do that. Okay. Now you're probably like, okay, well, I heard what they just said. You did hear what they said, but that's not what our website is designed to do. And I'm always, just honest and upfront about what things are. Our website is there to share our events. We don't necessarily on our website share everybody else's events. Okay. And so with that, it's telling me that I could do more with that. But why didn't we do that? Because that's why we have the membership over there. So even though she's got her problem statement, right, and it's telling us what to do with Katie, and we kind of figured out what we could do based on what Gemini said, if there's something that we're not doing on there, how about we institute that? Now, could I say, let's not even worry about the membership. Let's really, really change our website to be that hub. I could, but what's the value there, right? And so I think it's a lot of value add. So think about this, something that they didn't say. They didn't say, go ahead and add more content to your blog. I could definitely do that. They didn't say things that we have, which is a pop-up on the website so that this way it could capture people's information. And when we send out our newsletters, they can get them. So I want you to understand, it gives good ideas, but that does not necessarily mean that everything is going to be something that you're going to take in. So this is why it's the quantity over quality, but you can then figure out what the quantity, as far as what you need to whittle down, and then just really focus on the quality that you can deliver. And even though it made those suggestions, I'm not here just to work for Katie, right? So I can listen to that, but then I can take what I want from that in order to build something that's necessary, that's going to be good for us as well, and reach those goals and objectives. So this is the other thing that they like you to do is crazy eights. Now, where's my little thing? So if you want to get a piece of paper, you can definitely do that. All right. And let me get me a piece of paper out of here for you. Hold on. All right. So crazy eights is basically divide your paper in half. Okay. If you're going to do it on paper, and then fold it into 4 parts. Okay. So half that way, and then half here. And then let's say half here. If you're like me and you like to write, this could be really good for you. Okay. So then you have 8 little sections, and then you can write out your ideas. You may love what Gemini just gave you. Okay. It's not about feasibility completely right now, but it's about, okay, you know what, that idea that you said, I can internalize that, and let me go ahead and work on that. Like, let me see what this would look like. But if you want to use Canva like I'm using, you could just add a table in. If you want to open up a Google Doc, you can open up a Google Doc, and you can add a table in there. So I'm going to just show you how to do that really quickly so you can see it. So if we go over to, I don't have my Google open. Let me go into my little Google. Let me go into Gmail because I don't feel like trying to do all of that. I go into Gmail and then click over here. Don't judge me because of all of these emails that you have up. And then boom, you click on the Google Docs, right? I'm showing you so you can see. Let me make sure you're seeing the right screen because I'm not showing you if you can't see anything. So share screen. And I just went into Google. I went into, well, let me show you what I did because I went a little faster. I went over into my Gmail, and then I scrolled down till I got to Google Docs, and I clicked it to open a Google Doc. Boom, now I'm here. So then you can go press blank document. It's going to bring you up a blank document, okay? if you want to do it this way, because I'm giving you multiple ways. Remember, I told you I like to give you different ways to do stuff. Press insert, and then you do a table. Okay. And when you do a table, do you see it lets you select like, okay, well, that's 2x1, but we want you to do a 2x4. So you'll have 8. And then you can type into there. Okay. Canva works very similar to the same way. So now it's idea 1. And then you put down, Katie, blah, 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 blah. Right. And then you can keep on writing if you want to do it this way. Now, if you want it nice and neat, this is an easy way to do it on something like Google, or you can do it in Canva. But if you're just like, I need to get these ideas out of my head, get a pen and a paper and actually write it down. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you another suggestion. Maybe do this exercise with the design thinking with a business partner. Do it with if you got a significant other or partner, let them write down their ideas too. And then you confer and then you bring it together. Or if you have a big group, maybe you're a part of a business group or something, you can do that. Now, what I would love to do, even with our membership, is to do this event live and just see how many people we can really help. So this may be something that we turn into an actual live event, but guess what? We're going to ask people, do they want that, right? Because we're not just going to assume they want it. But a lot of times you need to be in a group of people and you need to be accountable and you need to have somebody that's looking at your face so that this way they can say, oh, okay, well, yeah, I see that, but maybe that would be a better idea. You're not worried about feasibility. You're worried about getting those ideas out of your head. And I promise you, this is me. The more that I write, the more ideas that I get. And maybe the idea that I get is adjacent. Maybe it's not even that problem, but then I can figure out, oh, shoot, if I did that, I can solve something else. So I like for you to think about it like that. And that's why I like writing and having a pen, but you can do it either way that you want. They call it Crazy Eights at Google, but a 2x4 table, write out your idea, go ahead and get those things out of your head. Now, for sketching, I like to also do mind maps because I am the person that is visual. I think in shapes and, oh, shoot, where did I have them? Oh, it fell on the floor. I always have sticky notes. So my sticky notes is too far for me to get right now. I like to get an idea and write on a sticky note. So this is like a visual representation of that. So you can kind of blank things out. I like to also do what they kind of call like a Gantt chart, but to look at the months, because I try to do things in 90-day increments. So on the left-hand side, this is a real thing. And I'm going to show you how to do it in Canva, where I'm like, okay, it's May. So we have the Black Biz Summit coming up August 1st. So I have May, June, and July to do all of my marketing for it, right? But not only just the marketing, we need our speakers. We need to make sure we have our sponsors in place. We need to make sure we have our food, our photographer, our videographer, our agenda for the day. We have our location, all of those things. So some of that stuff that I just mentioned, we've already done. So I don't really need to worry about some of those things. But other stuff is still not done because you're waiting on people to say yes to certain things. So what we did was we do a media day. We started it last year doing a media day to get people together to kind of hype up the summit, whether they're going to be speakers, people that have been there in the past, and we're going to do a media day again. Okay. So at the end of this month. But that's a part of what's in the May thing for us to do. Then we have stuff that we're doing in June. So every event that we do, we publicize it. We let people know. There are things that we'll go to and things that we'll host that are in there. So we're going to be doing our Be in the Ecosystem virtual meetup. That's on June 2nd, my birthday. And that's another opportunity for us to talk about it. But there is something else that came up. So going ahead and booking things to make sure that you always have something in place to be able to talk about whatever is next is an important factor for me. So we're going to be doing an event in Charlotte in July. And that's going to be the week before we do this, right? But that event then now opens us up to more people that we wouldn't have been in connection with. And those people might decide that they want to come to the venue or come to the event, right? So let me show you so you can see. Oh, I need to open up another thing of Canva. Hold on for 1 second. Let me open up another Canva for you. And all right, let's change the screen so you can see where we're at now. So I'm in Canva, all right? And inside of Canva, they have a thing called a whiteboard, all right? So I'm gonna show you two that I kind of already made, and then I'm gonna show you how to make it. But I'm gonna open this one up that I've already done. So inside of here, I've already taken like different pieces of mind maps or different things that we're thinking about. Over here on the right is what I just showed you a screenshot of, but let's blow it up so you can see it really big. So I don't need to create everything from scratch because Canva has a whole bunch of stuff that's already laid out. So if you're trying to brainstorm, you see I was telling you to get your sticky notes and to do all kinds of things, and then you can organize your ideas into different groups and stuff, and then you can have some action items. This one right here, this one is more like, okay, well, this is what we're doing. This is our strategy. So the audience, the objectives, they already have these templates inside of there, and I'm going to show you how to get them. And then this one is the one I like, which is more of like an events roadmap. So I need to know what I need to do. Now, if you see, I had cut some stuff off in the previous thing, because just because I'm planning this one event that's on August 1st, I have other events that happen in between there. So those things need to be marketed as well. We still need to attract people because we need people to come to the June 2nd one, and we need people to come to, we're doing another one in July 16th and July 25th. So what is the marketing plan for each one of those things? How much stuff needs to be put out? What are the graphics that need to go with it? So for me, the design thinking is, okay, we're focused on this one thing, but that doesn't mean it's not 10 other things that we still need to talk about, right? So let's show you how to do it now. I'm going to close this out, go back to the beginning of Canva. If you ever see right here's whiteboard, press whiteboard, okay? And when you press whiteboard, ta-da, it brings you up a whiteboard. But if you look over here on the left-hand side, it's got a floor plan option. So depending on how you were going to do stuff, project plans and stuff, business model canvas, mind map. And you see all of these things are already inside of there. Find one that resonates with you. I'm just going to click on this one. So here is a meeting agenda mind map. Do you see how it brought all of that content over there? And then you as a user, you can kind of break out things the way that you feel like they need to be broken out. You don't have to create everything from scratch. You just write the stuff in that you need to write in, and anything that you don't need, you just click on it and you delete it. So if we're clicking here and we're saying, you know what, we don't even need this extra little box. Okay, pop him out of there. He's gone because there's no need for him. And then you don't need this arrow either, because where's the arrow going? Nowhere. And so this can help you to maybe get the things out of your mind, but then also put them in a logical way that other people can understand them. And then when you go to print it out, it's all beautiful, right? And then you can now show people what you've been thinking about. So I personally love a good mind map. All you need to do again is go right back to the beginning of Canva, okay? And then go to whiteboard. And the thing that I love about whiteboard, so now that we just made that one, right? Let's go back in. We're going to open it back up. Is you can make it smaller, and it's white space on top and white space on the bottom. And you could just keep going and keep going and keep going until, you fill it up. So it's basically like a whiteboard in real life, except for kind of infinite, and everything is saved. So you could open it on your phone if you want to, your tablet, but you could also use it on the computer. I like to get the ideas out of my head. And if that helps you, hopefully that could be something that you use. So sketch it out, make it work. And for me, again, I like to use my time frames as like a roadmap. You could have virtual little sticky notes up here. It's totally completely up to you. Now, other things that you could use, because I love to give you tools. You could use Google Keep. So I'm gonna type that in because Google Keep is a really good thing that I like to use in order to keep my ideas when I'm thinking about them. And then I can even share them via email to other people, or I can email them to myself if I need to. But I'm going to type in that you can go back and you can use Canva and you can use the whiteboard, and then just decide on what you need specifically inside of there. All right. Now, let us go back into our good presentation. And where's our original presentation? Okay, here we go. So those are things that you can do. Now, we got all of these ideas. Oh my gosh, we quantity over quality at this point in time. Now we need to filter that stuff out. It's because now it's too many ideas, okay? We can't do all of those things immediately unless you have a big team, okay? If you don't have a big team and you're like me and Mr. Brown, it's two of y'all, or it's just one of you, you have to say, no matter what comes first? Which thing is going to be the most beneficial? Use some simple decision making to say, okay, well, you know what? We can get this done faster, or this costs less, or this may not be as heavy as a lift, but align those choices with the goals and the resources that you have available. So sometimes we don't have because we don't ask anybody else. So what I do is whenever I have like big decisions to make, I have a set team of people that I call. I ask them their ideas. Either they throw in more ideas, which then gives me more stuff to prioritize and filter, or they say, okay, well, this is exactly who you need to talk to, or this is the resource that you need. Here's the link. Here's the person. Okay. So you can make that decision-making process however you need to, but you got to decide on what you're going to do. So this is where I say the feasibility equals your MVP. And your MVP is your minimal viable product. Okay. This means it does not have to be perfect. Okay. This means which one can you get done, right? So you need to look at the technology that you need in order to get it done, the time that is required for you to get it done, the money that you may need. And sometimes you don't need money, you just need the last part, which is the resources that are available. Pick one of those feasible ideas and just flesh out how you would do it. Okay. Once you decide, okay, well, this might be the easiest thing, or maybe in the long term, we know we really want to try this. So why don't we just try this first? Because maybe it might take a little bit longer. It's up to you how you want to do that. But I look at, okay, what can we churn out? And if you want to use my philosophy within that 90-day time frame, that's how I look at it. Okay. And then you come up with a prototype, test it out, see if it's going to work. What are those best solutions that you have said, okay, yeah, this worked, or, oh man, this could have been better. You can refine it. You can change it, flip it, smack it, rub it down, however you need to, because it's your thing. It does not have to be perfect though. But I can tell you something. The more that you start to do this and you refine your process, the easier that you will find that it is for you to get the results that you're looking for. And I'm going to give you an example that's coming up shortly. Now, the next thing is just to validate it. You could just test it with a few people. It doesn't mean that it has to be big. And so I'm going to give you an example that's coming up. We did our Black Leaders Luncheon in February. I had always wanted to do a luncheon with business people. I specifically focused on Black leaders because February was Black Biz Month, Black History Month. And I felt like that would be the thing. We went out and we got sponsors. Well, we had one sponsor first. We put the event out. I kept marketing it. And then we got more sponsors because people were like, I want my business to be visible. I want to have a table. I want to have a whole table with 6 people at it. I want to bring my team. I want to bring this group. And it just worked out perfectly. Okay. And get your feedback early and often. So, of course, we asked people what they thought while they were there. We sent a survey afterwards just to try to find out what people, were thinking about. The one thing that everybody loved was the location. They loved the ease of parking. They loved the central location of it. They also loved the food. They loved the flow of it. We did not keep it boring. And we also brought in leaders from all over the state. Okay. And we didn't limit it to Black people because that's not what we do. We just had a focus on that. And so the thing is to adjust and approve before you finalize. It went so well, it's validated. Okay. So then the next thing was, okay, well, why don't we do it again, but focus on a different group of people? So the next one, we're doing the Women Leaders Luncheon. Okay. And so if it works with one group of people, it should work with the next group of people. We haven't had that event yet, but I'm sure it's going to turn out great because it's at the end of this month. Right. So this is what I want you to see so you can see it in real life. Design thinking in my business. Go deeper into the demographics. And so what do I mean by that? What do people like to do? What is their lifestyle? For that particular event, it was 2.5 hours, but it was at the end of the week. Okay. It was at the end of the month. So I had all of that time to publicize. People came from all over the state. Okay. So it was just really great. And I chose diverse people as far as their backgrounds. Okay. Conduct interviews with people, actually ask them what they want, like face to face, but you can also share those surveys and do those things online. But this one right here is something that I don't think enough people do. I talk so much. I know, okay, definitely by now, because we've been on here for an hour. But one thing I'm really good at is when I go to other people's events, I don't talk as much. I go, I look, I pay attention. I see who's in the room. I see who's kikiing with who's laughing, who people are running up to try to talk to. And I pay attention to the flow of how things go. I pay attention to the type of people that came out. And to me, that observation is something that is key in business. So you have a competitor, Pay attention to what they're doing and who's buying from them, and think about why they're not getting from you, but they should be, right? And then social listening. That's one of the easiest things to do, is just be nosy. Just go online and see if there are things that are similar to what you're doing, and and find out what people are saying, but also find out what people are saying after your event is over. So we just did an event, and I just went on and looked at all of the different comments that people made online, to see what they were saying. But I also, let me see, at our event live, we went ahead and we asked people to write down what they thought about the sessions. It's a lot of different ways to do that, right? And then your feedback loops are basically repeating those things over and over again. So make a habit of asking people what they think. Even things like, make a habit of saying, will you give me a Google review? Okay. And that could be a follow-up email that's automated after you work with the client. Okay. That could be a follow-up survey that's automated after you finish whatever this is, or after they buy a product, or you complete a service. So those things are important. All right. Now, these are just giving you an example of some problem statements. Attendees are struggling to find events that offer genuine opportunities for meaningful connection. What can we do about that? There's a lack of events in our community. It should say that teach you what you need as a business owner that is past the beginner stage. Okay. Most of the people that we deal with now are like, listen, I don't necessarily really want to be in the room with like just brand new people, because the conversation is different. They want to be in the room with other experienced business owners and people that they can learn from. It's nothing wrong with being a new business owner. It's a lot of stuff you don't know yet, right? But these are problem statements. So we are intentional about making sure that the right people are in the room that you want to come see, that you want to learn from. Now, there could be some stuff that's mixed between new and old, but this is the problem statement that people are saying in relation to us, right? So conduct interviews. Now, I'm giving you some things. Open-ended questions are your star, your North Star, okay? Ask me, I should say tell me. So if I tell somebody, well, tell me about a memorable event that you attended and what made it so great. That doesn't have to be that it's my event. They could have went to something else. So I just had a friend today tell me about an event that she went to. She told me where it was at, and she told me it was just really nice, and it was well appointed, and everything was on time. And it gave her the idea that you don't have to have certain things in order to have a great event. Okay. And she was like, maybe we should do something that's a little bit more raw. Okay, cool. So another one, what are some of the biggest frustrations that you've experienced at events? I want you to tell me that, because I don't want to make that same mistake. What kind of experiences are you actively seeking right now? Because if I'm talking to a different person, they may want some different things. And that may be something I don't provide. I'm not willing to provide. I can't provide. Or maybe it is something that's an opportunity because I don't provide it, and maybe I can't, right? So it's all in how you listen, and then how you interpret that in relation to your business. Where do you usually find out about events? Okay. Now, this question was important to me because we worked with the Hispanic population last year who said they use WhatsApp. We weren't using WhatsApp. We just started using WhatsApp. And immediately we saw people paying attention to things, right? And that means we can build on another platform to be able to get people to be energetic and excited about events. But there's also other kind of things that could be used as well. And then the last question, and this is just me just giving you some of our stuff. What would make an event feel truly tailored to you? Now, I could say custom or curated, like we say a lot of times, but what would make it feel truly tailored to you? That's a really nasty, but good nasty, right? Way of saying, girl or boy, hey, how can I make you feel good about this event? What do you really want? Now, you may say some stuff that's off the wall. You may say, I want champagne, and I'm not doing that. Okay. I'm not doing the champagne. Nay, I'm not doing that, but I will make you a mocktail. Okay. I will have somebody there to do a mocktail, or maybe, you can make your own mocktail. All right. Maybe, okay, champagne sounds cool. And then we can have you make your own mimosas. Right. And that might make you feel better. So I could immediately say, nah, we're not doing that. Or I could say, well, we can make some mimosas and some famosas. It's all in how you decide that that's something that you want to do. Okay. So these are a prototype example. This is from our Black Leaders Luncheon. We had our graphic. We had our sponsors listed across the bottom. We chose really amazing speakers, okay? We had tables that were out there for people to display their work and sell. We had our sponsors that were here, and we recognized them at the event. And it was a really great event, all right? So now, I'm telling you it's a great event. How about I show you, all right? Hold on. Woo, did you see all of that energy? Like, yes. So for me, I want you to understand that design thinking is definitely something that can change the way that you do business. So if you use your Gemini, ask it questions, and ask it to generate creative prompts, sketches, marketing ideas. Use it as a collaborator in order for you to come up with some new things. And then once you do come up with the new things, tell it what you're doing, and then let it give you even more feedback on that. So if I said, okay, well, look, I'm going to do a networking event and I want to attract these type of people, I give it the description and then I let it give me some feedback, and then I see what it says. And I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe if I say, well, I'm going to be doing this networking event, what are some, let's just do it. Let's do it in real life. I don't know why I'm even saying it like that. All right. So share this tab. So we are hosting the Give It to the People networking event at the Durham Hotel in Durham, North Carolina, because you want to make sure, because there's more than one place called Durham. And our goal is to attract business owners, entrepreneurs, resource partners, sponsors. Well, no, you know what? Let's just put in city and county employees, because we would love for some of them to come through, especially if they're the type of people that can give people contracts. And we want to gain sponsors to make the event better, right? Make suggestions on attracting sponsors and ideas for, let's just say if I said ideas for engaging people once they arrive. Okay. Now I'm giving a lot because I just want you to say, like, what are you thinking about? So look at Gemini. That's fantastic. Hosting a networking event at the Durham Hotel sounds like a great way to connect with local business ecosystem. Here are some ideas to attract sponsors and engage attendees once they arrive. Okay, so let's see what it says. To entice sponsors, I need to clearly articulate the value proposition. What will they gain by supporting the event? Okay, so then it's giving me that tiered sponsorship, the things that can happen, showcasing brand opportunities, things that I can do, right? These are within my wheelhouse. Offer engagement opportunities. And it says think just beyond logos, okay? Can the sponsors host a specific segment of the event, lead a short workshop, or provide valuable insights? Now, we're not going to have workshops, but they could host a segment, right? Can they have a dedicated table or booth? Yes, that was something that we were already going to do, right? Then it says quantify potential reach and impact, estimate the number of attendees you expect. I can add that in there because originally we told them 40, but I think it's going to be close to like 100. So we'll see what goes on. And then it says align with the sponsor's values. So make sure that I'm pitching to people that they're here for community focused events. Create a compelling sponsorship perspective. Now, then once people arrive, structured networking activities. Don't solely rely on unstructured mingling because I don't really want to do that. Is there icebreaker bingo? Those things drive me crazy. We will definitely not be doing that. Industry tables, designate tables for different industries or sectors. I like that idea. 1 minute intros. We're not going to have people do that either because we are going to have specific hosts who are going to help direct people based on what they say that they need. Okay. But this is where that part, see, this is so good. Gemini said a problem solution exchange. Have attendees write down a challenge they're facing or a solution they offer, and they can then mingle to look for someone who can help. That's something that is similar to what we were planning on doing, but I could see a visual representation of that. And I could definitely make something like that happen. It says dedicated networking zones, resource partner showcase, interactive elements like a live poll, social media wall, ask me anything sessions, curated connections if possible, food and beverage strategically, which everything I do, there will be food and beverage, but then post event follow-up, encourage them to connect on LinkedIn or other platforms. Guess where we're going to encourage them to connect? On our platform, and we're going to encourage them to do that before the event so they can become members of the Give It Get It business membership. You see what I'm saying? So it does a really great job of giving you ideas if you then say, well, what do I really want to do? So you can then further, as we talked about earlier, refine it. Okay. So we came up with a solution to Katie's problem. Okay. And the solution is we're going to be doing our Give It to the People networking. Our theme is being the ecosystem. We have 2 co-hosts, both of who are dynamic in their own right, who will attract different audiences than we attract. And, and then it says, when we say be in the ecosystem, we provide a vibrant, intentional crowd. We're curating a space that encourages idea sharing, resource exchange, and partnerships that move the needle. Update your LinkedIn and your wallet. Yeah, it does say that. Update your LinkedIn and your wallet. This is a shop local experience where each attendee will purchase their own food and beverage to support our host venue and to keep the dollars circulating in our community. So it's already up. If you want to register for this, totally, completely free, you can go ahead and register now, right? So I wanted to show you, like, you can go from thinking of one thing to, well, let me solve this problem in a different way for the people I'm actually trying to solve it for, and then come up with something that's dynamic. Okay. So ta-da, that is our workshop. And I want to just thank you. And if you are not a member of the Give It Get It business membership, you should just go to giveitgetit.biz and you should join now. Add your events on there. Make sure you put all your social media in. Continue exploring Gemini and design thinking in general. And when you have a solution, go back in and ask it how good your solution is. And if there's anything else they could suggest, right? Because then that way, if you don't have a person to rely on, a mentor or a partner or somebody like that, let Gemini be your partner. Let them help you out, and then bring those ideas to your partner. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed this wonderful workshop with design thinking. Check us out, giveittothepeople.com, which is a basic little hub for all of the things that we do. And go to the membership at giveitgetit.biz. And I hope to see you at something soon. I hope that this has been impactful for you, because it took a while to say, let me really put this together in a way that I think is more impactful for our entrepreneurs that are out there, and for people that are existing businesses. So have a great evening or morning or afternoon or whenever you're watching. Make sure you always show up and show out, and you continue to give it to the people.